True.
Ba-dum, dum, dun, 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 dun. Hola, and welcome to Oye Cinema Club. My name is Marita, aka Dignified Couch Potato. Tonight we are going to be reviewing the movie Girls Just Wanna Have Fun. I'm really excited about this. Um, I'm not alone though. I have with me tonight Steve Des, Selena, and Jason. Woo! This movie was written by Amy Spies and directed by Alan Meter. I don't know. I've never heard of these guys, but I picked this movie to kind of reel us into some more girly action. Um, but yeah, I guess we can dive right into first impressions. Let's go with the person I know probably loved it the most, Steve.
Thank you so much, Marina. Um, what can I say about this film? I have a lot to say. I'm so glad Selena's here with me because I'm gonna tell you straight up, I could live my life without the first maybe 45 minutes of this film. I thought this movie was so slow, but so fucking slow, just like setting up what it was, and I feel the second half saved the movie because I was about to be like, this was a complete waste of my time. But like the second half of the movie is actually way more entertaining. There's more things going on. There's higher stakes or whatever. But it just at first, like everything was so predictable. Even Selena was telling me, "Oh, they're gonna end up together." I'm like, "Of course,
Don't spoil it.
the movie is like setting it up or whatever." But like in the beginning, it just felt so slow, just introducing the characters and stuff. And it's just like by me looking at it, I already see the environment. I don't need that much explanation of their day to day life as like whatever high school kids, 20 something year olds pretending to be like 14 or 15 or whatever it was. And yeah, it was also interesting for me to see what's the name of the main girl, the one from Sex and the City?
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Jessica Parker. It was so fun to see her as a younger person or a younger version of herself before all the fame and everything. Because I was like, she's just like like seeing her in this movie. I was just like, she's literally a regular person, like such a regular person. But once she gets to Sex and the City and all that, she's like celebrity, mega, whatever, untouchable. But here it's just like she's literally like some girl from the Midwest that like anybody could have gotten casted in that role versus like her co-star, what's her name?
Helen Hunt.
Yeah, she is very unique. She's very particular. Like I feel like her role was very like she has to do it. But like the role of Sarah Jessica Parker, like that could have been any girl. Legit, like any
Yeah.
blonde, whatever, good looking with certain dance moves. And let me tell you this movie was extremely obvious about the stunt doubles.
My husband was like,
So
look at those hips. That's totally different.
this was almost like, yo, this was almost like one of those movies was there's a movie like Date Disaster, like one of those like scary movies type of parody movies that one of the gags was like some white girl was like running a motorcycle and then it would change into a big black guy, the stunt double, so you can notice that it's clearly not that person. It was almost like this with this movie. That is like they tried to hide it, but I'm like, that's clearly not them doing all those fucking gymnastic moves. Same with the nun. That's the other one. But the nun that was like, yeah, let me show my skills. And she started fucking. I was like, that's not the same nun. That is not the same nun. Anyway, those are my first impressions.
All right, all right. Selena, what were your first impressions? What
um,
was?
I got really excited that it was a dance movie, and then I could hear Stephen thought about it even without telling, and that I thought is really funny. And it is a really slow movie, but it is also like a really old movie, and I felt like it's the little sister of Dirty Dancing, and it's just like also the character looks so similar, and I was got amused by the the doubles, what do you say,
The stunt double, yeah.
stand doubles and stuff. But the dancing actually is really good, and I was like impressed by that and stuff.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice.
like the kind of, oh yeah.
Oh no, if
Good.
you, I thought you were done. I'm sorry.
No. I just I'm like not. We can't talk about the end probably. So no.
No, you
That's it.
can. You can talk about anything.
No, I got excited about the end. That was really cool. I love like dancing movies because of just the dancing in it. The story
Yeah.
beside might be a bit slow, but still enjoyable.
Yeah,
Good.
who's gonna win? I like that stuff too. All right. Well, you took a little. We're gonna skip Jason. He knows why. And I'm gonna jump into my first. Jason forgot to watch the movie. It's okay. It's all right. Was it? It's okay, baby. It's okay, sweet.
Well, listen, I will say this.
Huh?
I'll say this. I love Sarah Jessica Parker. I love
Okay.
dancing, and I love girls.
Hey.
Cool. Thank you. All right. So, yeah. So my first time watching this, didn't watch it really like did I can't remember if I watched the preview or not, but I had no recollection of the preview when I started it. So I initially thought this movie was going to be about like just girls doing stuff in high school. I don't know. I'm laughing because Selena said something about the dirty dancing, and I was like, what did I wrote a note. I said I had no idea this was a Dirty Dancing Footloose 3 Rise of the Planet of the Apes movie. Like it's like, I was like, what the heck? This is like I wasn't expecting dancing at all, and probably the same I had the same thought process. Like the Sarah Jessica Parker I know is like this fashionista from Sex and the City. So I'm like, she played in like a Footloose type of movie. I never had any idea she had like anything to do with the dance move. So on top of the stunt doubles, I was just like, this has to be fake. Like, we've never heard that this girl can dance. Like, I'm curious too, when you went to the movie theater, you probably were new to seeing her. You probably believed that she was really dancing, but like knowing the Sarah Jessica Parker that we know now and then watching this later, it was like, what? I would have never thought she would play in something like this. I liked it. Again, like it wasn't what I was expecting. I don't know what 100% I was expecting, maybe more like a Grease, like drama in high school, more so it being about like kids trying to be on a TV show and having dance battles. Like I was not expecting that at all. But I enjoyed it for what it was. We had a little bit of the cattiness. We had like the competition between high school girls. So we still had a little bit of it, but I was not expecting this dance show audition part of it at all. But I still very much enjoyed. So yeah, so I guess we can kind of jump into favorite characters. We could start with Steve again.
Wow, you put me on the spot. Favorite character. Hmm. Favorite character, man. This is tough. I legit was not even thinking about that.
Well, I can go first. Give you a second. I actually very much like Helen Hunt's character. I believe her name was Lynne in the movie. I just love her loyalty, like, from the jump, like, not everybody takes in the new girl with open arms. And she just like right away, like took in Sarah Jessica Parker's character. Come over, watch the show. These people have like a 50-inch screen when she was going to get in trouble for missing choir practice. She had a whole lie ready. She went to the parents' house and she was like, she passed out. Oh my goodness, we totally missed choir because she passed out. They're just totally down for this girl that she's only known for 2 weeks. She just kind of reminded me of like how I was at a younger age, just like with like making girlfriends. Like she was just super ride or die. I really, really loved it. And like even when she didn't get into the show, like she always had like good spirits about her friends still doing a good job and things. And I love that she had a happy ending. Like she still ended up getting on the show. Like it all came around. But yeah, she was definitely my fave.
Okay, I'm gonna jump on that bandwagon because I honestly I've been thinking about all the characters, and I'm like, for example, even though I enjoyed the character choice of the dad, I couldn't justify him at the end being happy for his girl. I do get it. Oh my god, my girl's on TV, talented, all that stuff. But they do kiss. The dad should be pissed about this stuff, whatever. At least, like he's very protective, whatever. So I can't pick the dad. The mom was there only for the part of the TV going like, look at my girl go. The son, he was okay. The dog did a great job, for sure. The dog.
Which the dog.
Yeah, what do you mean what dog?
What
The dog,
dog?
the
Yeah,
dog.
that dog.
And but I have to agree. I think the most enjoyable character and like unique, and I don't know, it just felt more real than the rest of the characters. Everything felt like a parody of itself. Was Helen Hunt? That's her name, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Twister.
so
Or
like her.
Twister.
Yeah, I just felt like every moment, like her little scenes, she always maximized it. Like she always made it very unique. And even though she was just a supporting character, she just made herself stand out, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Selena, what about you?
Yeah, I'm hopping on the same thing, but like because she was so outstanding, it kind of always like was flat and then her scenes and then flat again, and it just made it gave the movie a little awkward twist in it because like yeah, everything else was quite just as you expected maybe,
Mhm.
and then
Mhm.
she was a little crazy flavor to the movie, which I really enjoyed. And I also like the little sister. I don't know, the little girl, because there were the trio of like this three girls going crazy with this party.
Oh yeah, the
Oh
young
yeah.
girl,
Girl,
the sister of the dude.
yeah, I like that one as well because she's just so sweet and the same kind of energy of like supporting and let's go and just we're like a team. We're gonna do this.
I also liked the old guy, the father of the rich girl,
Ah, yeah,
because you need like a strong antagonist. Like the girl thing of like all that is strong to a certain degree, but like having him, the father, be part of the whole dynamic and him with his face and going like, I can fire your dad and like raising the stakes in that way and stuff like that. It's
Yeah,
it's
to
interesting.
me personally, both besties were the best. Like her best friend being Helen Hunt, but also the guy's best friend who was like selling shirts um out of his car. Did you guys notice that's the guy from Weekend at Bernie's?
no,
No. But I don't know. I just felt like so at first I was like, oh, this is the character that I like. But as things progressed, I was just like, like I know so many people that would have gotten that character. Like let's say I Joseph Gordon-Levitt, just to give a name, and would have just made it 20 times more interesting. Because it's just a character that there's so much to play with. Like you're a nerd, but you're selling stuff, you're selling homework, and you're hustling and you're selling t-shirts. Like there's a lot to play with, and I just felt like he just played it by the book. Like
Mm.
and he didn't make like a strong choice as an actor, in my opinion.
Well, it's crazy though how many people in this movie like went on to have like bigger careers. Like he had a bigger career in his youth. Like I said, he was on Weekend at Bernie's, but I believe he's still acting. But like Helen Hunt would go on to be in Twister, and I feel like she was just in a Netflix movie a couple years back. Like Sarah Jessica Parker has all the Sex in the Cities. Even the one who played the little sister, she was on 90210 and stuff. Like just all these people. It just there's something nostalgic to me about watching a movie that seems like the beginning of a lot of people's acting careers because I feel like you see the eagerness in their eyes. Like they all look just so happy to be there. Like it was such an innocence to see amongst everybody in the movie. I don't think the guy who played the love interest really went on to do much else. But there was a lot of people that like I'm like, oh, I've seen them somewhere, and you look it up, it's like 3 episodes of Criminal Minds or something. like everyone, went on and is still acting. Even the little brother, like, is a grown man now because this movie came out in 1985. But I noticed, like, on his IMDb that he did a lot. He's done a lot over the years as well. Um, Oh,
But to
cool.
be honest, now that you mentioned that character, the dude that's like the love interest, like he was almost the weakest character if you really think about it. Like
he
besides
was
the
But
dancing,
he had some cute lines. The punching in the face and when he's like, "Ah, you're my boyfriend."
yeah, but I just feel like everything was way too generic. Like for
Yeah.
he jumped from like I had an interaction with this old guy to like I'm mad, I'm not dancing, la, la, la. Like it just felt very cartoonish to me. It didn't feel believable or real. Like his choices were like, and the dancing was really a stunt double. It wasn't him. So
What
I know.
was it? I really like the dad though. The dad of him.
oh, his
I
dad.
know he
Yeah, he
was
was
so
hilarious.
down. He was
Oh, he
like,
was so sweet.
I mean, I had to exit the contest because he said he could affect your job. He's like, can you win? He's like, well, go win. I'm like, you go, Dad. Like this was like the 80s. Like factory jobs were hard to find. Like like once you were like out of that mix, like there was no other job in town. Like he could have
Yeah,
really he was just so yeah, that was just a
so sweet. So straightforward, super encouraging, really sweet.
And I also would have loved, like for example, at one point the dude did mention we're favorite characters. Forget what I said.
Did you guys notice how all these 19, like how many of the movies from the 1980s, all roads pointed to Chicago? Like nobody was trying to get to New York, nobody was trying to get to LA. All the stories, especially like for teenagers, they all took place in Chicago.
Mm.
You guys notice that?
I'm gonna start noticing it now. I didn't think about it. Yeah,
Ferris
like I'm
Bueller's
trying.
Day Off, I think, came out either this year or within a couple years of this movie. And that whole thing is about them going to have a day in Chicago.
Mm.
And, all those people, like in that film, became like, big stars as well. Home Alone, Chicago. I think like a lot of the directors from the 80s that did comedy and stuff, I think a lot of them came from Chicago.
Mm.
That's
I'll keep an eye out for that. Yeah, I'm trying to think of a movie where it's like, let's go to the beach. Like if it wasn't a beach movie, I feel like yeah, it wasn't necessarily, and not even just Chicago. Like I feel like a lot of the stuff centered around the Midwest, and it's probably because I feel like 80s and 90s had a lot of like holiday spirit vibes too, and like you
Mm,
have prettier snow and stuff in the Midwest. So like Home Alone 2 couldn't be in LA. We need we need the
need to
cute hat
snow.
and the
Yeah,
coats and like you could do better with like layering and things like that. Now they just fake it, right? Now they'll just
right.
film something in LA and you just got to wear the coat and it's 90 degrees and they'll just do some like exterior shots that they got on
I
B-roll.
just,
You know
I
what I
just
mean?
watched.
Yeah.
I just watched an episode of The Office that they were putting fake snow, and I was like, I know exactly where the office is, and there's never snow there.
Right.
Exactly. Maybe back then it just wasn't like it was a lot cheaper to be where the weather was. Even though this wasn't necessarily a winter movie, um, but yeah, that's interesting. Have you gotten a favorite character in what you've watched yet?
Well, not yet, but I'm pretty sure it's Sarah Jessica Parker. But also, that is the guy from Weekend at Barney's. He was one of the two best friends from Weekend at Barney's. Um, and speaking of that movie, which came out like in the late 80s, so it's not that far removed from this. And he's playing like a full on like 15, 16-year-old in this movie, I guess.
But I don't
And
remember so much, but I feel like he thinned out, right? He's a little chunkier in this movie. I feel like he had like a six pack. Like he was the one who wore his vacation shirt open in Weekend. Is it Barney's or Bernie's?
uh,
I don't
Barney's, it's Barney's.
know. And so I'm like, yeah, it seems like 'cause John, my husband, watched it with me. He didn't even recognize him. I'm like, oh, that's the guy. He's like, no, it's not. I'm like,
That's totally him. I mean,
yes,
and
he
he was
is.
in a ton of movies. I watched Weekend at Bernie's during the pandemic, and I
No,
remember
no.
thinking these guys should have been in more buddy comedies together because they're really terrific. But yeah, yeah, I think the only person I don't notice so far is the hunk playing basketball at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Bro, that scene, That scene took me out. I was just like, why? Why would they put
He
this
like
white guy?
dunks, but above the rim. Like the first shot of him, they
Bro, when
introduced him with him jumping
yeah,
above the
him
rim to
dunking,
throw the ball in.
and then they show you the actual distance the rim has from him, and I was like, there's no way that dude dunked like that. There's no way.
Not only is there
And,
no way, the very
yo, and
next shot, he's dribbling the ball really poorly. Like this guy's not
he's
good at
dribbling
basketball.
like this, bro. Dribbling like this. I'm like, why would they put this poor white guy?
It was the '80s,
Like,
man. Like it didn't.
Anything can
an
happen.
African American sport like basketball. But it's just like, man,
Larry Bird was
just give
still in
him,
the
I
league
don't
at the
know.
time, and they were okay with
I'm
it.
like, why don't they give him a golf ball? Like they literally said, hey, you could be a great caddy. Like just put him in golf. Like why do we have to mix basketball?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that the country, like the beef with the rich girl, I feel like that kind of got dimmed a bit, huh? Like I feel like that could have like I mean it was good enough, but I just like I don't know. Like it was just such a random villain. I kind of and she could dance
And
too. Like what?
don't get me started on that scene. That scene at the the country club, that was a disaster of a montage. I was just like, what the fuck? They had someone just jump out of a window, like to introduce them coming and like wrecking the party and whatever. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I don't know what I thought was gonna happen when they sent out all those invites to the misfits, but that definitely was an era where like people with tattoos and like ride on motorcycles were just the bad guys. Because in reality, like all those people in real life are really cool. Those are the cool cats you hang out with at the bar. Like they're fun. They have ambitions and dreams. Like they were like these like that was like the era of like that's you're in a gang. Like if you wear a
I
leather
just
jacket.
I just feel this movie did not have a great extra coordinator because, for example, the scene that they're like giving away the invitations, everybody acts nonchalant. Everybody, they just receive the invitation. Oh, sure, I receive invitations all the time. Like, sure, everybody reacted that way.
And they all show up as well.
Yeah, like they have some people surprised, like, what? You invited me? You sure? Like me? You know, like
That's
stuff
definitely
like
not
that.
LA, right? Everybody showed up. Everybody. So like I said, the TV show part element of it, I had no idea was happening. Like it was just almost really weird, like how out of everybody in, like two people from the same high school got in to the finals, but it's whatever. But is there ever been like a TV show that competition or something that you guys have wanted to be on? Like something that you
Oh
really
yeah.
thought you were gonna get on that show?
Oh yeah.
Last
Oh,
comic
so
standing.
many.
America's Best Dance Crew.
ABDC.
For real?
I wanted to be a Jabberwocky, like like.
I remember that first girl
I
group
want to.
came on there and they had that waiting all night for you to dance like this with their hats. And they like, what a time.
What a time! I
So
wanted
last
Remember,
to
comic
be on Double Dare.
Double Dare. Oh yeah. What was
Hmm
that again? I have a
It was a
t-shirt.
Nickelodeon show.
oh,
It was like a game show for kids on Nickelodeon. You have to do like obstacle courses and answer questions. I also
I
wanted to
wanted to
be
be.
on The Amazing Race for a little while.
Mm.
This is
And
like
The
a
Price is
super
Right.
old, this is a super old like Nickelodeon show, but I wanted to be. But I discovered this show way past its time. Like this show was not even filming. It's called Figured It Out.
Hmm.
I kind of remember that.
Yeah, it was like with some blonde lady, and you would like team up with like Nickelodeon celebrities, or you will go against them or whatever. And it's like a
Mm.
trivia type show, I think. Or
It's
you
it's
do
funny
like
because
music.
on Sesame Street, there's like this fake band that comes to Sesame Street to perform, and I think not what's his name? He has like the song "This Is America." Um, he acts. He has that show Atlanta.
Childish Gambino,
Um,
Donald
yes,
Glover.
Donald Glover.
Yeah, same. But he plays like this fake artist that comes on Sesame Street, and one of the songs in their band is "Figure It Out." So when you said that, I was like thinking that's the theme song of what you're talking about, but it's nothing. Yeah, I have
Oh,
a kid.
I had another show, Deal or No Deal. I wanted to be on that show so bad.
Oh yes, Deal or No Deal for
Oh yeah,
sure.
that was my show.
Yeah, I mean, I know I'd probably settle this like soon as they say 20K, I'm like, walking away. First time. I
Okay,
could never be and
I'm not
I could never be
I'm
on
not
any of those
settling down
shows.
to that number over 6 figures. I am
Man,
not
as
It's
soon
settling.
it's
as
Deal or No Deal was just a show for degenerate gamblers. There was no skill involved. You didn't have to
yeah,
know anything.
I wouldn't get past auditions because like I'm so scary when it comes to stuff like that. Like third case and the freaking banker calls me. I'm like, deal. That's more money than I had when I got here.
Just out of here.
No
Cancel the
entertainment
show. Wrap it
whatsoever.
up.
Already spent. Already spent. No, Deal or No Deal's up there. I want it to be. Do you guys remember that show? It's not really so much like a game show, but Zoom. It was like the kids, and they did like experiments. It was like, come on in Zoom, come on in Zoom. Yeah, I wanted to be on that. And then
It doesn't
like even like American Idol, I always thought that would have been so cool. Like OG first few seasons of American Idol,
ever want to
like
be there. That's just a highlight reel of people doing bad shit. Like the same.
I only ever watched American Idol for the first few weeks when they're trying to get to Hollywood. Just the bad auditions. That's all I cared about.
I just wanted Simon to be like, "Shut up."
I only like that Asian guy that will sing Ricky Martin songs.
Oh man,
Wait, is that the
the
she
dude's an
bang
icon.
one or no? Is that one?
Hmm.
Like she bang, she bang.
She
No, it's
What
gotten really
about Guts?
interesting.
Do you guys remember Guts or Global Guts on Nickelodeon?
No.
I remember the name, but I don't remember what the show was about.
It's just another obstacle course show. Kids running through a
Oh,
maze trying to find
I
stuff.
know the show I wanted to be. There was something in Discovery Channel called Monsters House that
Mm.
like literally these people and like interview you like what the things you like or whatever, and then you live it on a trailer for like a week or whatever, and they're like redesigning your entire home based on like what you wanted. It's
Oh,
almost like Pin My Ride, but instead of the cars, it's the house.
oh, cool. There was also another show like that. Wasn't There's a show that was really popular. I feel like the guy from it ended up like he has like other shows now, but it was like about renovations. I don't remember. It was
There's
so
a
popular.
million.
You would cry. Shows about house renovations, early
Yeah,
to
Oh,
production
Bob
gonna have
Vila.
huh?
Well, I want
Was
to
it
Home
be
make
Bob
on
Vila?
it was Extreme Makeover Home Edition. You guys remember that? It was
No.
but they would
She
always
wanted to.
get like these people that had super sad stories. His name was Ty Pennington, the guy that would host that show. But I just remember every week I'd be crying because like it'd always be someone who did like something really good for the world that would get the renovations. And it was beautiful. But all right, back to the movie where they were on a dance
You
competition.
wanted to
Oh,
watch that
sorry.
show.
I'm sorry.
Turner's Next Top Model.
Oh,
So
yes.
yeah, but my mom said I'm too short for it. But I practice walking in high heels anyway, so it's got
They had a
some
short.
skills.
How tall are you?
160.
Well,
I don't know how is that.
It's like
In meters.
5'6".
they had a season, right? Because like I feel like all the seasons you need to be at least 5'7", 5 feet 7 inches. But they had a season where they let people that were like shorter go.
Yeah, I was great.
Yeah,
That wasn't my time. But it's okay. Still can walk on high heels now.
yeah, I can't. I mean, no, I can, but I just don't want to. It's crazy. I used to wear stilettos Friday through Sunday every week. Like, what were we doing back then? Like, goodness gracious. Um, cool. Sorry.
Back to me.
Do you
Yes.
guys love how quickly they became best friends?
Yeah.
It's a bit too quick. It's a bit too quick.
Really? No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, when you know, you know. That's why I love her. Like, she was just like, I got you. But it could also be like trauma. Maybe she like love bombed her. And I'm kidding, no.
Like
Maybe
they
she's like,
went back to
no
her
one else
mom's
want to be
house.
your friend,
That's
huh?
funny. They went back to her mom's house within moments of being friends and wrecked the joint.
Oh yeah, but was that her mom or the people she babysits for?
Oh, is that
Babysit.
was her babysitting job?
Which
My
is even
bad.
Yeah.
worse. But yeah.
Yeah, funny.
Oh, that was when
um,
the baby was in the pizza.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
but she was just so down, man. She was never like, yeah, the Helen Hunt's character. Um,
That makes sense.
what would you guys say? I feel like this movie is really one dimensional, so it's like not too many categories to really dive into. But what was a favorite scene in the movie for you guys?
I like that rich girl's house just now. That rich girl. It reminded me of Cher from Clueless because she had the wardrobe that went around or whatever.
Oh yeah, yep,
But Helen Hunt and Sarah Jessica Parker are really cute in this.
yeah.
Yeah,
It
I
could be
would
a movie
say.
just about them.
I mean, I would say the best scenes to me were towards the end. So like, I think it was a really cool scene when they were like stuck in traffic and they were like getting out of the bus and like climbing the cars. Like I think that gave the movie more dimension or whatever. And of course the dancing, the dancing was great. Like when they were doing the actual show and stuff. Not when the fucking kids were like auditioning, but like when
I like that as well.
well in the audition I did like some people. Like I like for example, there were like there were two African American girls and a black guy, like, and they were dancing together. I thought they did really good. But the rest was just like white people doing. I don't know, like
It was like Footloose. Have you guys just spinning those flips? Oh my
Oh,
goodness. That's when you really saw the stunt double, like that the legs were
oh, and
different.
the nun scene, that was the best scene when the nun goes like, "Oh, let me, maybe I should teach you,"
I
yeah.
was not expecting that.
and the nun starts fucking Olympic vaulting.
It was so funny because you're trying to focus on Sarah Jessica Parker talking to the guy through the gate, but like I'm like still watching the nun in the background. Like, she's still going. But yeah, Selena, what was your favorite scenes?
I liked when they in the last scene they did the flick flack together. That's just really like cool that they didn't do like partner stuff, but like yeah, but cool partner stuff. And the dad twice. Once he was like, "You go for it," and then also when he was in the pub, like really proudly watching. That was like, that's very sweet. My two favorite scenes. Three.
I like how, like the brother sister relationship grew. Like he was like at first I was like, who's this kid with his walkie-talkie and his army outfit? But he was like he really became like their relationship got cute, like even to the point, he's telling her someone's on the phone for her, he had her back and like um and then I like when she like escaped from the house. She got past the like I definitely do like when like the sneaking, like the getting out, the rope the friend had her with the rope outside. She like took the electricity off the alarm to get out the window. It just reminded me of like just like times when I wasn't allowed to leave the house and I still did and things. It took me back. Um and then yeah, the dancing, like I said, like because of the fact that I'm like a huge Sex and the City fan, um, it was hard for me to connect with Sarah Jessica Parker being this dancing queen. Like I was like, it was just really weird for me. I just didn't believe it wasn't believable. Like I was just like, okay, like I want her
Yeah.
to win, but I know darn well she can't dance like this. So it was just like she's the main character. And I wanted her to win, but I just was every time the dance thing was up, I'm like, all right, stunt double. Like I don't see her being a dancer.
I
Like
mean,
I
the
kind
whole
of
movie. The thing is, the whole movie's like that because even her excuses weren't believable. Oh, I had a dream that had to go to school, but it's sweetie, it's past 7. You're not dressed on your clothes. Oh, I thought I was in public school. Whatever.
Yeah,
I
that
gotta
was
go.
just
I'm gonna go to sleep, Dad.
it was
Yeah, I could
just
see
really
she
weird.
get away with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did like, just to mention before we move on, I did like the scene where like the little girl gets like a kiss from the dude
Mm.
because she's like shocked and she's like, "Oh my god, it happened." Uh,
Mm.
Yeah.
so that was,
She was
and
another
also,
character that
the
huh?
scene, honorable mention of another scene when she like kisses him. I think they kiss for the first time, and then she goes like, "Oh, now that I have like now my boyfriend, whatever," and the dude is like, "Well, I don't know who your boyfriend is, but you're gonna be seeing me."
Yeah,
That
that's
was
pretty
so
funny.
awkward. Because, like, you expect from that time era that, like, people just fall in love, get married, and have kids, but he was rugged, he was like, "What?" But he was kinda being playful, but, like, still, like, low key, he never was like, "Just kidding. I am your boyfriend." Like, we kind of never committed the whole movie. Um, but the little sister was another character where I feel like this movie has aged because the plastic surgery that she's had over the years. Like if you were to see what she looks like now, I could not stop seeing that. It was just kind of weirding me out that she was like a little girl and I know what her cheeks look like now because she looks really intense now. I don't know if you could pull up a picture, Steve, but of
Right
Shannon
now,
Doherty.
if you would have told me earlier, I could have set it up. But I mean, you can send me something.
I
I can
mean,
try.
yeah, I mean, just the we could pull up her thingy, but it's just, and you can't like 100% telling her. Yeah, she just looks really different now. Um, I was like, wow, like it just the youth. It kind of scared me, like as a woman aging in this world. I was like, oh my goodness, a couple of the people, because even like Helen Hunt looks so different now. Like it was just I felt like I hopped in a time machine when I watched this movie, and it was freaking me out. I ordered some aging cream online, because girls they just have a little bit too much fun.
Yeah, these girls had too much fun. That's the real thing.
So her and then yeah, but yeah, all right. So I guess we can dive into those final thoughts. Um,
Wait, that
Steve,
was Shannon Doherty in this movie? That sure was.
yeah.
Okay, so I will say this about Shannon Doherty in this film. And this is no disrespect to Shannon Doherty. This is just my observation from watching, 30 minutes of the movie. She's not that good of an actor in this, right?
She's playing such a little girl, so I can give her credit for that. Like she's playing even younger than them. So I feel like she's like silly.
Oh, okay, no, that's not Shannon Doherty then. I'm thinking about the rich girl.
Oh no. Yeah, she
No, no,
definitely
no.
was. Yeah.
Yeah,
She's the little sister of the hunk. Quote unquote hunk.
Oh no, Shannon Doherty's fine then. She's okay.
the
Sorry.
rich girl. The only scene she's good at is the first scene. That's it. That she's like, daddy, just being like
A brat.
very materialistic, and she's going through the closet. Everything else she does through
Hmm.
the movie is whatever.
I feel like she's your typical 80s villain rich
Yeah,
girl, like just like very like superficial surface and just like they only got one thought and it's to ruin you. Like it's not a lot of
Well, then
dialogue.
let me ask you guys this. Can you see, after watching this movie, it's very early. I don't know if it's their first film or not, but can you see why they became stars after watching this movie? Did they have that certain thing?
Honestly, no, just maybe Helen Hunt's character. Um,
yeah.
but I don't even think she proceeded to have a career that was around this. You know what I mean? Like I feel like this is the most fun I've ever seen her be. And maybe I have some catching up to do between now and Twister, but like no, but Sarah Jessica Parker, definitely not. I think Steve mentioned at one point, like anybody could have played that. I just there was nothing that was like 10 years from now, you're going to be in a show and you're going to be a fashionista and like change the game for women in fashion and what they feel about being single in the city. Like I just don't I can't like I can't see that being the same person. Like which is great that she evolved and everything, but definitely didn't see star potential from her role on this. Um or anybody, really, except for Helen Hunt. What about you guys?
They look. I mean, I guess because I know them now, Helen Hunt and Sarah Jessica both sort of look like they could be a big deal.
Bro, I'm telling you, Sarah Jessica in this particular film, you could replace her with any Midwest girl, any Midwest white girl that's blonde, and
And it
all
would
would have
work.
played this. It would have worked. It would have worked. Helen
I'm thinking
Hunt,
Yeah.
on the other hand, if you see everything she does in every scene, it had to be Helen Hunt.
Well, Helen Hunt. I mean, she did become a big. I mean, she's a big TV star after this too. Remember Mad About You?
mm,
That started in like the early '90s.
yeah, she's done a lot. Like if you just look at it, yeah, she and then that's probably it. Like, because I don't even know if like I feel like I could be wrong, but I feel like Sarah Jessica Parker didn't have a really good career until she got older. Like I don't remember much. Like she
Well,
like
Sex and the City blew her up, but she played a lot of interesting roles. Like the first time I remember seeing Sarah Jessica before Sex and the City was in a movie that Tim Burton directed called it was with Johnny Depp. She played Johnny Depp's girlfriend in a movie.
mm,
What was the name of that movie? The Ed Wood.
okay.
Oh yeah, that's a good movie.
And I'm trying to think of anything else. So because when you think about it though, I mean, shoot, older. Sex and the City came out in 1998, so it's only like a 10-year gap. But um,
A lot can happen in 10 years.
yeah, and she had things like she had Hocus Pocus in '93. She
Hocus
was on
Pocus,
like
huge.
yeah, but I feel like she was supporting a lot in these. Like to go from being the main character of this movie, I feel like she had a lot of supporting roles until she was the main character again in Sex and the City. And then
Mhm.
so yeah, she definitely seasoned up like in a like just maybe playing a high school person doesn't like maximize on her range. You know, like yeah, she did it, but maybe yeah, maybe that's why she never really did another one. Like maybe that's just not for her. Like she doesn't really stand out when it comes to being a high school girl. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to think of anybody else. Like the guy who's from Weekend at Bernie's. Again, I didn't really see it. Like I loved seeing it. I saw like an innocence to all of them in like one of their first roles probably, but didn't necessarily see that like wow, yeah, this is why they became stars. Yeah, not so much. All right. Okay. So now final thoughts. Steve.
Final thoughts. This film. Let's start with what people want to really hear, and that is would I recommend this movie? And that is I'll recommend it if you are in Marina's group of friends, or if you are, or if you're a lady out
Hmm.
there that's hooked on a Cindy Lauper song, girls just want to have fun. But they did play it twice in this movie, and I'm glad they did because I was about to flip out if they didn't play the song at least once. Um, but yeah, man, like this was, I don't know how to describe this, but this was like a matchup of again Dirty Dancing with a little bit of Grease and like I don't know, it's like a lot of different things. The dancing is good. Don't get me wrong, the dancing is good. The story is too slow for me for the first 40 to 50 minutes of this movie, so that's unacceptable. So if I were you, I would just skip right through the last 40, 30 minutes of the film and you'll be way more entertained. Because honestly, everything that happens in the beginning is so predictable. It's so like you can skim through it and you know what's going on. You don't need to know even the dialogue. You can just see what's going on body language wise and all that. And it's very easy. And again, I think the biggest flaw of this movie, in my opinion, was that every character except Helen Hunt was played too cartoony. It was played like such a stereotype of itself that, in my opinion, ended up hurting this movie. Because I'm gonna say this straight up, and this is like Havoc type of straight up. And Havoc, honestly, is so bad. I might watch it again, but this movie I would never watch again. Like, there is no way that I will watch this movie again. Because that's how, in my world, how bad it was. I would rather watch the new Mean Girls and the old Mean Girls 3 times in a row than watch this film. That's my final thought.
Since we're over there already, Selena, what are your final thoughts?
I'm a bit less harsh on that. I think I think it's a good movie if you're like really into high school musical drama. If you want to know who's gonna be the boyfriend within the first scene, and when you want to just have like nice dancing scenes, yeah, go for it. But um, I think if it wouldn't have been for this here, I probably wouldn't have finished it. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, but it has been, yeah, it's just, I think there's other dancing high school films that are a bit more speedy and nice. So
Nice, nice. Um,
So
wait,
I'm going to give a final thought. I'm going to
all
give a
right,
final thought.
all right, all right.
So I do like 80s movies, especially ones that center around kids and high school kids, like because that is of my era. Now, obviously, I'm like a baby when this thing comes out, but I think this movie. I think my sister would have loved this movie. She may have already seen it. I don't know, but this would have been something that would have been right up her alley in the 80s for sure. So I would recommend it to 80s babies who were into all the other 80s high school movies. Now, I haven't finished this thing. I can't like speak for its total reputation, but I also like the car, the beat up old junker that he was driving. I would love to drive that car if it was like fixed up. That old Mercedes. So that's who I would recommend it to, a very select group, and not every 80s baby either. If you like the dancing movies and you want a throwback nostalgic movie, this kind of makes me feel good just watching it right now. Just having this on kind of makes me feel good because it's like reminding me of a time before like we had Nintendo even. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty cool. Um, what's the other one? Oh, would I watch it again? I'm gonna watch it this time for sure because I haven't finished it. I am going to finish this movie. So yes.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, my final thoughts. Um, yeah, I enjoyed it. I do agree that it does remind you of some other stories from this time. Kind of kind of wish the plot was a little bit deeper, but I still enjoyed it. It was still very much like a family-friendly, nostalgic movie. Um, I'd recommend it to people who, if we're talking about an old movie that we like, or people who love like the Dirty Dancings and the Footloose and things. I'm like, oh, do you know that Sarah Jessica Parker was in an old movie where she dances? And most people are probably like, no. Like, it's crazy that this is named after such a popular song, and I had never heard of this movie before. I was searching for another film that I wanted to do, and it popped up under like people who watch this have also watched this, and then and I ended up like, huh?
Because
What'd
it's
you say?
that bad.
Yeah. And I was just like, what? I was like, girls just want to have fun. What is this? And then I saw who was in it, and I love seeing actors in their beginning. It's like inspiring because sometimes I feel like as an actress, and I know, you guys dabble in the industry sometimes as well. It's inspiring to know that people didn't always just start off on like their most iconic role. It might just be a goofy movie where she wants to get on dance TV with her homegirl. Like, it was just like, it's really cool to see. It was almost like watching a play, like a school play. But I liked it. I may watch it again. I probably won't seek it out, but if it's like ever on TNT while I'm doing laundry or something, like I'll definitely. It's good. It could be a good background noise, and then you get invested when
It will
who's
never
gonna
be on-
win. It will never. Yeah,
will
but
refuse to-
well, those are my final thoughts. Thank you guys.
Right on. Well, I guess I just have one more question for the evening, and that's Steve. What do you got for us next week?
Next week, I don't know why you asked me, because you very well known that you're next on Cinema Club.
Oh, me? You shouldn't have. So this week, I want to dive into something that's been recommended to me a few times, and I heard from a really good friend that I should watch it, and it's good. And it was recommended to me because there was a book that I wanted to read that accompanies the movie. It's not based on the book, but it accompanies the book. And that movie is, Steve. Origin.
I knew you were gonna say that. I just watched that last night.
Did you really?
I watched it
Terrific.
again. No, it was good. I mean, just kidding. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, I look forward to seeing it. So that's our movie for next week.
Hey, as long as it's better than girls that just want to have fun, I know I'm gonna have a blast. So anyway, for Marina, Jason Echoes, Selena, and me, Steve, we'll catch you next week. Bye bye.